China's creation of the BRICS Development Bank is nothing less than a declaration of economic war on US dollar hegemony. This bold move is aimed at undermining the long-term dominance of the US economy, which has allowed Washington to impose its will on nations around the world through crippling sanctions and financial usurpation. The new bank is the clearest indicator of the unwillingness of China and its BRICS allies to play by US rules. They are forming a new financial order in an effort to limit US influence and deny the US the ability to use the dollar as a weapon of global control. Beijing is making it clear that the days of undivided domination of the US currency are numbered. The BRICS Bank is designed to enable trade and investment by completely bypassing the US dollar, striking at the heart of America's economic supremacy by building an alternative financial infrastructure. China and its partners are not just offering new options for international payments, they are actively calling for the world to abandon the dollar. This is not just a financial strategy, but a geopolitical maneuver to reshape global power structures. With the launch of BRICS Bank operations, the global economic landscape is on the cusp of a seismic shift. The world is watching with bated breath as the new institution lays the foundation for a future where the US dollar loses its status as the key pillar of international finance. The expansion of BRICS membership is a historic step that demonstrates the determination of the BRICS countries to strengthen unity and cooperation with the developing world. It meets the expectations of the global community and opens up great opportunities to promote the common interests of emerging market countries. According to Vice President Zhou Qianguo, the BRICS Bank is resuming normal operations despite the effects of the pandemic. It plans to disburse about $5 billion in loans this year, with China and India remaining the main recipients so far. The NDB is headquartered in Shanghai, established in 2015 by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The bank aims to promote sustainable development and economic cooperation in its regions. The creation of the NDB is part of China's broader strategy to challenge American economic hegemony. Beijing intends to promote the use of alternative currencies and reduce dependence on the US dollar, thereby limiting the influence of American economic policies on the global stage. This initiative also reflects China's criticism of US sanctions, often used as a tool of political pressure. By establishing financial institutions that operate independently of the US-dominated system, China and its BRICS partners seek a more multipolar world order. The geopolitical implication of the NDB is profound. It is a collective attempt by the largest fast-growing economies to gain greater control over their economic future. The move is likely to provoke a backlash from the US and its allies who perceive it as a direct challenge to their economic interests. In recent years, Washington has actively used economic sanctions to put pressure on countries that do not support US policies. The creation of the NDB can be seen as a countermeasure to such sanctions, providing an alternative financial cushion for states that might otherwise find themselves constrained by US leverage. The NDB's focus on lending for infrastructure and sustainable development projects also underscores the difference between the priorities of the BRICS countries and traditional Western financial institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank. While the latter have often been criticized for imposing rigid lending conditions, the NDB aims to offer more flexible and supportive financing. This approach is likely to appeal to many developing countries seeking to push their economies without onerous economic reforms. The US response to the establishment of the NDB and the expansion of BRICS initiatives will be critical in shaping the future of international economic relations. If Washington continues to rely on sanctions and other forms of economic coercion, it risks becoming increasingly isolated as more countries gravitate toward alternative financial systems. On the other hand, a more cooperative approach could help reduce tensions and promote a more stable and inclusive global economy. As the NDB expands its operations and influence, it will be important to monitor how the new institution responds to US sanctions and other forms of economic pressure. The success of the NDB could inspire other regions to establish similar structures, further diversifying the global financial landscape. Such a shift could lead to a more balanced and equitable distribution of economic power, reducing the dominance of any single currency or country. Recognizing China's ambitions, reducing reliance on the dollar will allow Beijing to mitigate risks associated with U.S. monetary policy and sanctions. It will also provide an opportunity to promote the yuan as a viable alternative for international trade and finance. While the dollar has been the cornerstone of the global financial system for decades, China's efforts could gradually shift that balance, especially if the NDB gains momentum. Critics of U.S. economic policy argue that sanctions often hurt the people of targeted countries more than their governments. By providing an alternative financial system, the NDB offers a lifeline to these nations, allowing them to pursue development goals without the constraints imposed by U.S. sanctions. This could lead to a more equitable distribution of global wealth and resources, stimulating economic stability and growth in regions long marginalized. However, it is unlikely that the U.S. will remain an idle observer of these developments. The creation of the NDB and the growing influence of the BRICS countries pose a serious challenge to U.S. economic hegemony. In response, Washington may try to strengthen alliances, improve economic strategies, and possibly introduce new measures to counter the influence of the NDB and the BRICS bloc. One possible U.S. strategy is to strengthen economic ties with other regions and promote the advantages of its financial system. By emphasizing the stability and reliability of the dollar, America can reassure partners and deter them from shifting toward competing economies. Washington can also work with allies on reforms in international financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank to address criticisms and make them more attractive to developing countries. Another important aspect is the role of technology and innovation in the new financial landscape. The flourishing of digital currencies and blockchain technologies presents both opportunities and challenges for traditional financial systems. China has already made significant strides in developing a digital yuan, which could further enhance its ability to outperform the US dollar. The US and other countries need to keep pace with these technological innovations to maintain influence in the global financial system. In conclusion, I would like to thank the viewers for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support us. Have a great day.